If I end up not liking the skin tone and I want it filled in with white or yellow, is that possible?
Oh, yeah.
Basically, some kids sneak into Thomas's shed and make him go without a driver, and he just crashes right into some dude's house.
Oh, hello. Welcome to another episode of Who the F is Rob White? My guest today on the show, Brandon LaCarrubba.
How you doing?
Tell him hello.
Hello.
Brandon is a local Long Island comic, and I don't know, tell him a little bit about yourself. Anything interesting and fun? Or
I'm so excited to get stabbed by Rob like 1,000-ish times right now.
It's going to be.
But I don't know, I tell jokes, and I book shows, and I like when you're on them.
Yeah, we've had a good couple of shows.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm leaving. I'm getting out of here. Long Island's done. I'm done with it.
God.
I'm out of here.
No, not yet.
Technically, yeah. Got like another month and a half on the books, and I'm going to Texas, baby.
Going to Austin.
Getting out of here, yeah.
Where all the comedy scene is going now. I mean, not all of it. New York and LA is still like the number, I'd say number 1 and 2 markets, but definitely now Austin.
They're trying. They're trying to overtake, because like LA was easy to usurp after COVID, because they were just closed down for the longest and the most like insane about the lockdowns. And then I mean, New York is still New York. I just don't live in the city, and I can't really like afford to live in the city or to constantly commute.
For the folks at home, we are doing a Chinese symbol here, which is Japanese Chinese.
He's getting canceled, baby. Going the way of the Hinchcliffe on this one.
The Chinese got all their stuff stolen by the Japanese, so it's true.
I know, and then they got revenge in World War II. It was really gross and terrible.
Weird time,
Yeah.
But this is correct.
That is it. That is the turtle school.
And we have it right. It's the right facing direction.
It is. I'm a turtle boy after tonight.
Like I'm a turtle boy?
Yeah.
You're a turtle, like Island Boys?
I guess I'm more of a turtle man.
All right, I'm going to do a couple of little lines.
Yeah. We'll see when I get my pain response kicking in. Last time I got 2 tattoos ago, I just started sweating so profusely and disgustingly as it was happening. It was like the middle of the summer too. I was freezing and sweating. It was bad, but I got them, and I love that tat.
It's an interesting, terrible feeling.
It is.
Tattooed.
It is. And when you meet a new girl and she's like, "Oh, I love being under the needle," and it's like, "Oh, you're gonna be fun."
I feel like those people are always liar faces.
Oh, you think so?
You're like, dude, you know what I really love? A little bit of pain. You know what I mean? I need some pain therapy. And it's like, I think that I want to punch them as hard as I can in the face.
There you go. Like, Fritz video you got for free.
Are you feeling A-okay now?
Oh man.
And they'll be like, no. And I'm like, see, you don't really like pain. I think sometimes people are just trying to be cool. Like they're.
Sure. Have you ever had anybody give themselves other pain to distract from the tattoo pain?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they'll bite themselves on their hand or some dumb shit like that, and you're like, why would you do that when it's like you're giving yourself double the amount of pain? Like you're already in pain. Why not just concentrate on one pain? It's like, no.
That makes sense.
Be different.
The only time I broke a bone so far, I was playing pee-wee basketball, and I was a fat kid.
Which sounds adorable.
But I was tall, so I went up for them rebounds a lot, and I was getting a lot of rebounds, and the other team was mad. And then instead of trying to just rebound the ball, they were just trying to volleyball spike it out of my hands, and just crushed my pinky finger, dude.
Yeah, no bueno.
And I ate habanero hot sauce straight, and it really did distract me from the broken finger pain in a way I wasn't super expecting. But it was effective.
It's an interesting way of doing things.
Yeah, well, that's my MO. If someone says do it this way, I gotta be like, well, I gotta make sure that's the right way to do it. That's why teachers hated me. They're like, just fucking do it.
Just do it the way we're trying to do it. Nobody listens. I love how this is a silent machine, but yet we can still hear it somehow. I don't understand that. I want to see why that is.
Well, who says it's silent?
These are like those rotary machines. They're supposed to be so quiet. Yeah. They're supposed to just sound like, just like a fart in the breeze. They're supposed to sound like, remember the old Care Bears, the Care Bear cars, the Clouds? No, the cloud
I'm
cars?
sorry,
no. Well, we were talking about old anime and cartoons earlier, so I thought, maybe you'll know about this one. But
no, if you're gonna take a shot in the dark with anybody, like that was good. You have a high chance.
The Care Bears used to drive around in these cloud cars. They were just clouds, and they made a noise. I feel it was like boop 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 boop. And I think that's what these are supposed to sound like, but they don't.
See, a cloud car to me just sounds like everyone in the car is vaping.
Oh yeah. Oh, the old vaporoonie. Everyone's doing that shit now. These kids blowing out stratus clouds and cumulus clouds and stuff.
Yeah,
they're all gonna die. I mean, they're all gonna get some kind of weird aqua lung. That's what I figure.
I've had 2 questions about the show since I found out you've been doing it.
Oh shit! All right, this is good.
And the first one is: has anybody compared you guys to the fantastic interview show Hot Ones?
No.
So do you know about it?
Yeah, where they force people to eat like hot wings.
Yeah, and they get progressively hotter, and
yeah.
Like third to last one tastes like poison.
Yeah. So they're all just so distracted and they're trying to answer questions and then they can't because
Well, it's more. See, what I get out of it more is the facade drops in a lot of the celebrities, and because they're in so much pain and they're trying to hold it together. And I imagine this is far less pain than eating a chicken wing with Da Bomb hot sauce on it.
Yeah, is that what it's really called? Da Bomb hot sauce?
Yeah, and that's the one that everybody hates the most. That's the third to last one. It's technically not as hot as the last 2, but it's the one that people hate the most every time. And no, it's similar in that you're like, here's some pain. How about you talk a little bit?
It is a weird concept, right?
No, it's great. That's what I love about Hot Ones is you get more honest interviews, and the interviewer guy, Sean Evans, is a fantastic interviewer. But like with that extra, like hey, you're going to be in intense pain. I just think you get better answers out of people than.
No, sure. I definitely see that. Like it becomes like a conversation. You start to lose that whole entire interview.
Well, hello, Rob. Thank you for having me.
Like that radio DJ, like, how's it going today? I hate that shit.
I got to call out a buddy of mine, Rob Hall, who, come to more things, Rob, we miss you. But he did my podcast, Guilty Pleasure Personals.
I don't know if I've ever met Rob Hall. I think I had to have, but I just...
He's not coming around as much.
No, because I've been introduced as him twice.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm like, who? And they're like, Rob Hall. I'm like, no, God, read the paper. Jeez. I don't look like him as far as I know, but Rob Hall, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry. You were
No. He was the only guy that did my podcast and kind of like talked with that, I don't know, like effect, like transatlantic, like we're commentating baseball.
Like they put it on. They put on this weird like radio voice kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I love Rob, and I'm not talking shit. But it was like listening back during the edit. I was like, bro, you don't talk like that. Maybe I should be tattooing you or feeding you hot sauce.
Yeah.
And
now they make you talk the way you actually would talk on a normal day.
Well, it was funny when I was still currently producing the show, and I told him I'd have him back, and I was like, "Hey, one condition, just like talk like you." And he was like, "Okay."
Yeah, just be a normal human being. Well, that's what like in podcasting, I feel like, and I've seen this a few times been said, and I think it's really true that one of the originators or the style-wise for what has become the podcast was the Opie and Anthony show.
Sure.
With, they were the first radio show to really just be like, hey, here we are, There was no, hi, everybody, welcome to the show. Howard did that to some degree, but he was still, I'm the shock jock Howard, kind of thing. And it was, when you saw Opie and Anthony do that, it was just like a regular conversation, just hanging out on air with a bunch of your buddies, and they were just cutting it up. And then you think about how the podcasts are, and you're like, yeah, that's exactly what podcasts all are. It's just a bunch of guys hanging out, or gals.
Guy is a gender-neutral term. It's gotten to that point.
Yeah, I feel like it is, you know.
And I love using the word gal, and it's funny, like, I'd say like 80% of gals, it hits them, and they're like, oh, that's a word that's not offensive, and the other 20% are like, what the fuck did you just call me? And it's like, gal? That one's got to be okay, right?
Everything that you say can be offensive. Even the words, like even said nicely, You know, you could say like buddy, pal.
Ear of the beholder, man. You know, it's all ear of the beholder. So I don't work for Whole Foods, but I do the demos. I work for another company. But I'm in Whole Foods a lot, and I deal with the customer service people because that's where I like sign in and out. And there was a lady, like classic Long Island Karen, and she's trying to like get somebody fired for saying no problem. And she's like, that's implying that there might have been a problem. I just needed you to say like, okay, or you're welcome. And it's just like are you fucking serious?
Ass.
Someone literally, on a very literal level, told you no problem. Things are good. And you're going to be like, I want free groceries.
Some people are just not happy with anything. I mean, but I guess it all kind of turns around how you say no problem. You can be like, yeah, no problem. And then you're like, whoa, did you just say fuck my face? Because I feel like you said no problem, but I felt like you were saying...
Well, that's what I hear about the South.
Have relations with my face.
No, when the people in the South are like, bless your heart. It's like they're saying, go fuck yourself, dude.
I saw two guys fighting in a tattoo shop one day.
One day? Not like every day.
Oh, no, back in the day, everybody thought it was amazing. But it was just this guy who was like, yeah, you know, like, yeah, whatever. This is how it's going to be, guy. And he was like, whoa, did you just say guy, son? And he's like, oh, did you just say son, guy? Did you just guy me,
You're
son?
not my buddy, friend. You're not my friend, guy. This is a South Park bit.
It was the same
yeah,
fucking
that's
thing.
awesome.
Like, did you just son me, guy? And I'm like, are we talking about... They were like two like regular dudes, but they were like... It was so stupid. And I'm like...
That's
over
so
son and guy. And I'm like, guys are both assholes.
No, they are. Because like realistically, if you're going to get upset at that, it's because someone's treating you with like more familiarity. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like when you're like roasting or razzing somebody and you're not like close enough yet, and it actually feels like you're being shitty. You gotta have that rapport.
Yeah, you
that
can.
candor.
I mean,
but also, guy has never been offensive, unless you know.
Yeah, but it's all like that way. It's like you could literally walk up and to a girl that you know that you guys are fucking. We're comics. There's definitely a few female comics you can walk up to and be like, "Yo, what's up, slut?" And she'll be like, "Fucking asshole." Nah, you know. But there's definitely. If you don't know the person, you can walk up and be like, "Hey, hey, sweetie,
hello, vagrant of the night,
hey, little honey, doll face," and you're like, "Doll face." Oof. You know, if you say it to someone, like you said, familiarity. If you just say it to some, waitress at a Denny's at the wrong time of the night, you can get stabbed with a spork.
You know, I think the funniest thing I ever said, like not trying to be funny and not in like a comedy context, was in a Denny's at like 3 a.m, and all of my friends were ordering food, and I forget why, because I'm a fat fuck. I'm never the guy not ordering food, but that night I was that guy. And the waitress, I'm so glad I was the last guy that she wanted to talk to. Like I was the last guy in the circle when she was taking orders, and she gets to me, and I'm literally like working on the children's maze, and she goes, "What do you want, darling?" And I go, "I'm just here for the maze," and just
timing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and actually being there, that made it funny. But oh my God, I've never held court at a Denny's like I did that night, Rob. I'll tell you what.
Holding court
at a Denny's.
That's definitely the after the gig, after the bar.
Yeah, right.
Kind of hopping sort of joint, hopping place.
Hey, someone's got to be open.
They used to all be open. It used to be a comedy ritual after you got out. You went to the diner. Yep. And everyone was there, and everyone was drinking. Everyone was having a good time.
Oh, dude, you're breaking my heart.
Like now, there's no 24-hour diners.
Well, it depends on where you are. Some places are will stay open late. Dude, halal places, that's the new hang spot. Halal places open till like 4 or 5 in the morning.
I say, halal, is it meat you're looking for?
Yeah.
I can see it in your rice.
Dude, you gotta do that. That's a real lyrical adaptation.
So we started saying this at the shop, singing the halal song, halal, and then on the way to a show, I started just fucking around in the car. It was me and Paul Bond. We were doing a show, and Paul was like, "Oh my God, I can do that!" And he wrote a whole song in the car about those lyrics, and then he went up and did it. As soon as we got there, and it fucking bombed.
Damn.
But did you ever have a bomb joke that was so funny that it bombed? Like, you bombed, it sucked, but the comics are just laughing. So it was like me and him and John Butera and like I think Claudia Bonavita was there. We were just laughing so hard that every once in a while Paul would just in the middle of his set just be like, hello, and you go right back to it and we'd all just start cry laughing, and it was just not good. I felt bad that I had
so you're saying you guys were laughing, the audience wasn't?
No, the audience was like not getting it at all.
Oh yeah, I've been there. No, that's like, I feel like that's a relatively common thing where you're making all the comics laugh, but the people sitting there are just like, make me laugh. You know, that.
Yeah, but they were just kind of beat, so we were like, whatever. You know what? Sometimes it's more fun to make the other comics laugh.
Yeah. Feels like you're like proving, like when you make a comic laugh, I don't know. I'm of two minds about that. Sometimes I feel like it gives it more like, no, this is funny, and then other times it's like, I don't know, like they're almost like the easiest people to make laugh. Like I feel like I tell a comic a joke and they laugh, and I go on stage and it bombs, and I'm just like, wow, what is the correlation here?
Yeah, no, it is.
You know?
It is a harder, easier, because you can do a lot of inside stuff. That also is where I feel like making comics laugh. Comics like a good inside joke, so you could do something and it's a callback to later, or a callback to earlier, something you said on the ride, or whatever. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it all out.
Dude, me too.
I wish that somebody in comedy would look back and remember what it was like when they were still struggling, still doing fucking open mics and random pizza parlors and all this bullshit, and give some kind of advice that wasn't ridiculous.
Well, I think the problem is like it's so different for everybody that even if they wanted to give earnest advice, like how would you factor in all the differences and the variables? So it's like I totally hear you.
That's truth, yeah.
It would be nice,
but I feel like a lot of the advice, the two things that are constant that I've always heard from any stand-up comic in giving advice on what to do has always been, you need to just get up as much as you possibly can, and write all the time.
Sure.
All right, cool. And then you'll say, you just gotta hustle, and you're like, I don't even know what I don't even know what that means. What does hustle mean? What, to sell like my Ritalin or something? Like, what is that? What is hustle? Like sell fireworks out of a garage to make ends meet? Like that's hustling? What do you mean hustle?
As many spots as possible and recording them all and listening back to them and rewriting everything. And actually, I did want to catch you. Can we do something different? Is it too late?
No, what do you got? Oh, the whole thing?
Yeah, the bit didn't land.
I was like, yeah, we could change things around. I don't know what's going on.
Can we go back and do the rabbit idea, actually?
You know what? Eat a bag of fucking shit. The outline's in, okay? Awesome. It's got me doing anime over here.
I do.
Look at me. Do I look like I do anime?
He's the anime guy.
I look like I'm still pissed off about Pearl Harbor, and I am. I am. Those guys flying their planes into... But still, yeah. But we're doing the best we can, right? We're making it through.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
We make it all happen. This always looks weird, the Chinese symbol, or the anime symbol, or the Japanime symbol, or whatever. The fucking symbol!
I love that. That's awesome.
You know who's got a cool Chinese symbol? Bobcat Goldthwait.
I thought you were going to say Riley Reid.
Actually has a cool... No, I swear to God, this is a real thing. I saw it. I always thought it was really funny. He has a symbol, like a drum symbol, and it's got like a Chinese hat on it or something.
Okay.
So it's a Chinese symbol.
I like that a lot.
I'll have to look this up and find it. You know what? It'd be really fucked up if I was completely wrong and it wasn't him and he's just pissed off now that I'm disparaging his name. Because Bobcat's a big friend of mine. He watches this podcast.
Nice.
Yeah, he does. No.
Cool. Bobcats, unrelated to the comedian.
Yeah.
They're my favorite construction vehicle, the little guys.
Oh, yeah.
Some about them, they look like mech suits, and I love that about them. You know what I mean?
Damn, I'm glad you got it. I was going to see what your favorite construction vehicle was.
Yeah. I'm not diagnosed autistic, but I'm close enough that we could talk about trucks and trains. And
yes, I was gonna say trains.
Yeah, I'm a train guy.
You're a train guy, which is it's a very popular hobby. It's very popular. You know what? Let's take 5 minutes, and then through the magic of this, it'll be like we're right back at it.
That sounds.
And we're back.
You're back.
Okay.
Sweet.
So trains.
Yeah, I love trains, man.
You
they're just like cool.
Do you like the band Train?
I did. I liked one song by them, like my freshman. I was being honest.
That's a terrible band. I feel like that's the worst train since the train that ran to Auschwitz.
Ooh. Look, having been there,
You went there? I mean, some people visit, which is a weird vacation destination.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're a train buff, and if you were in Poland, you'd be like, that's right. I mean, I'm trying to think of the most famous trains: the Orient Express,
Polar
Thomas
Express.
the Tank Engine,
Nice.
and the Polar Express.
Yeah.
And definitely that boxcar that was running back and forth over there. That's a weird.
I think that was like the first time they used trains for evil.
Yeah.
They used trains for war before that. And that, that's debatably evil,
War
but,
train.
that's like conflict, that both parties agree to. But yeah, that was the first time they were like, people, get in there. Get in these fucking, that's bad. No, I have been.
But it's good to go a little bit rogue sometimes with this, And why not?
Rob White defends the Holocaust? What?
Well, I'm not defending.
What's happening?
I mean, the Holocaust.
What did you tip these needles with?
What? Oh, yeah, and you know what? It is the first time in war that tattoos were used for evil, too.
Yeah.
Hitler was just doing all kinds of, trying everything out. He was just he was like a comic on open mic night.
Popping Adderall,
what about trains? You guys like tattoos? How about that? Ah, you like my mustache? No. Wow.
He ruined that breed of, or not, maybe it's not a breed of cat, but a lot of cats have the Hitler mustache, and apparently it's the leading cause of a cat getting put down or dumped out, is people don't want a Hitler cat. And I invite the Hitler cats, because they're not his friend. They just look like that. They didn't choose to look like that. So be cool to Hitler cats, people. I need to stop moving around.
That's all right. You're doing fine.
You can't have Italians in this seat.
I'm just saying, Italians, they're a lot. We're trying to keep them out of comedy, too, but you know what? They just keep coming with more fucking sauce. That's what they do.
That's how we bribe our way backstage. We got jars with mama's sauce.
Yeah, you got your mom's gravy. Come on. Hey, you know me. I'm your boy, Italian comic. And okay. Yeah, you guess you get to headline the show. You guess you get to do every single show on Long Island forever until it's over.
Yeah, not to make enemies out of half of the Long Island scene, but God, this is my ethnicity and that's every joke I have. It's all right.
Yeah. Well,
you're not like Brad Williams, where everything is about being a little guy, but that's because he's a little guy. He can't reach stuff. That's funny. It's inherently funny. Just I talk like this. That's not inherently funny. I don't know.
It's. I mean, you know what it is? It's overly done, and you know what's weird is that a style of comedy has become an entire genre of comedy now. Okay, you think about it, you go back in time to comedy, you had several different types of comedy. I feel like we might have had this conversation on the show before. I don't want to double up on it, but I'm going there anyway. If we did, we'll just cut it later.
It's new for me, Rob.
We did this. I think. Well, here's the thing: you had comedy, and comedy was originally Jewish comedy. Right, so you had that Borscht Belt, Catskill style, Jackie Mason kind of comedy, and it's a different style of comedy than regular comedy. You got a lot of Yiddish in there. You got a lot of reference to stuff that only Jewish people would understand. So okay, you have your regular comedy, and then you'd have your Jewish Catskill comedians. Okay, then you also had the Chitlin circuit, which developed in the 1960s, or maybe even earlier than that, probably 1930s, 40s, where it was only black entertainers doing, black comedy rooms and clubs.
Yeah.
Which they had to, because it was segregation at that time, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now you fast forward all these years of just doing regular comedy, and all of a sudden now we have Italian comedy. You do. You got you could name 30 comics, and if you were if there were going to be a channel, that would be the Italian channel, and then you definitely would see Sebastian Maniscalco and Vic DiBattista and Anthony Rodia and the Uncle Luigi Variety Show and so on and so on, and it's just, I don't know, you could love it, you could hate it. It's,
well, you know what it is, the fellas that are successful doing that, I do my best not to hate on it, because they found an audience, they found a style that works for them, that they can be consistent in, all the stuff you want as a comic. So there's a professional respect there. But so we'll take aim at the top dog, Rob. When people ask me, oh my God, you're a comedian, do you like Sebastian Maniscalco? And I go, I don't hate the guy, I would just never watch his comedy. Sebastian, please let me open for you, dog. I will I will ham it up.
You just have to bring like a
75%
lasagna or something from your ma, and then he'd be like, what's this here? This is lasagna. And I don't know how he talks. I don't know what he does.
That's an amazing impression.
That was terrible.
Lasagna.
He's like,
That's what Garfield would sound like. I was gonna say if Garfield talks. Garfield totally talks. What the fuck am I?
Garfield is Bill Murray, right? Isn't he Bill Murray?
In one of the movies, at least. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah, those movies like came out. The Garfield CGI movies came out at a weird time in my life when I was like not going to kids movies anymore, unless it was like Transformers, I guess. Which I don't know.
Yeah, you hit that level. Yeah.
I'm out of titties in Transformers movies. I don't know if they're kids movies.
Oh, there are some in there.
Yeah. A lot of racism. The second one is
racism?
Yeah, second one's pretty racist.
That one transforms into a bus and won't let any of the hey, where are you trying to sit? I'm not a progressive bus. Rosa Parks, you know where you're going. Transformers racist bus. I don't know. That's not going to be a real.
Well, you know it might be a real. All right, here's my unpack of racism in Transformers. Is going all the way back to the original cartoon in the 80s. There was a black one.
A black,
and he was the second in command. His name is Jazz. I know his name is Jazz.
He's like, what's going on, you jive suckers? Like, Jazz is here, buddy.
Well, it was
smoking cools.
Yeah. No, man, Jazz did sound like this in the 80s. Like he did. He really did.
What's up, you jive turkeys? I'm Jazz. And what does he transform into? I gotta know.
Porsche.
A what?
A Porsche.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
So then,
I'll go for it. They were trying to be a little, They're sure it wasn't like a big Cadillac or some shit.
No, that would have been. Well, hear me out. They get there, right? So then, totally separate thing. The first movie comes out in 2007.
How do you know he's black though? Like he's
because you know he's black.
But he's not a human being. He's a car or a robot.
His name is Jazz, and he has a black accent.
All right, I'm sorry. Yeah.
And he has a black accent. No, so in the 2007 movie, when he's like first revealed, he literally just goes. He transforms in a cool like breakdancey way.
He's just playing around some cardboard one day, and he just turns into a.
Okay. But he comes out of that, and he like sits on a regular actual car, and he goes, "This seems like a cool place to kick it." And it's just like, all right, we get it, we get it, Jazz, we get what's going on. But then in the second movie, Revenge of the Fallen, Michael Bay goes too far because there's these two robots in disguise, and they have a lot of stereotypical qualities that may or may not have been associated with black people in a time when things were not as progressive.
Okay, all right. So
but here's the thing: it didn't bother me until like one of them just goes, "Man, I can't read," and it's like, all right, it's a little much.
That's not real, is it? That's not gonna be fucking real.
No, it
can't be real.
It's real, and he has a golden tooth.
No, he doesn't. No.
And he's voiced by the guy that voices SpongeBob. So it's a weird combination of stuff.
Why would they just, can they, like...
They cut them out of the third movie for a reason.
Yeah!
The original voice actor for the Transformers cartoon.
Jazz?
For Jazz.
Yeah.
Was Scatman Crothers.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so at least
Poopman Brothers.
They had a real... black gentleman doing the voice, and it wasn't just some like white guy being like.
No, they did, and then the way that they explain it, at least in the movie, is like, how did they learn English? Like, oh, they have access to the internet. Ain't no internet in the 80s. Like.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
like it makes sense for them to adopt like personas based on like what they like, blah blah blah. But in the 80s, it's just like, no, he's always been the black one. But again, he's second in command. He's got a nice place. No, they treat him well. He's a good guy.
It would be funny if it was all racially stereotyped. Like, I don't even know. Like, there's a white transforms into a cop car.
There's a couple of cop cars.
Hey, you guys, come on, keep it down now. Like, the Mexican transformer transforms into a Honda Civic with ground effects and.
Dude, they did that in the newest movie. There's one that he's like, he's posted up in Peru. And they actually like rag on him for having a Spanish accent. And he goes, "What is a Spanish accent?"
Yeah, because what are they?
Well, I'll go one level like dorkier for you. So, in the comics, I like Jazz is actually like the equivalent of a jazz musician here on his planet. So that's why when he finds out about the music genre, he actually decides to adopt the name. And I'm like, and like more specifically, I think this is the part of the show where I'm getting hot ones a little bit. I'm kind of like drawing blanks.
Oh, what? You're starting to...
It really hurts you up.
This isn't that bad, though.
No, not at all.
It's kind of like anal, you know? I mean, you're not going to like it necessarily, but either way, I'm still going to finish, right? You know,
yeah, and look, you've been a gentleman. You lubed me up. You've been very tender.
So far, so good. I don't know if we have to cut that. I think we just joked about butt stuff. Butt stuff usually gets cut on this show.
That's a shame. What the fuck?
I know. Well, let's talk about nice things. Let's talk about your... We talked about it earlier for a second, but we didn't get into it much. You want to, or you are planning on moving to Austin, Texas. So
yeah.
What is the entire plan down on that now? What you're doing? If you don't want to, mind explaining.
I just gotta find a job in an apartment. That's really all I want to do. I want to kind of just do what I'm doing up here, down there.
But you have it set in
shows.
Stone.
We're 100% moving. So I got putting in applications for day jobs every day, and we're doing our trip to scout apartments and stuff in a
it's
couple weeks.
100% based on comedy.
For me, my girlfriend is a computer science lady, and she's a cyborg, and a lot of tech down there, a lot of tech companies.
Oh, so it's a good move for that too, then.
Yeah, it's good for the both of us, and I don't know, man. I got feelings about Long Island.
Oh, what do you mean? You hate it?
No, there are things I hate about it. There are things I love about it, and I'm just really excited to soak in some other scenery. And look, if I come back, I come back. Maybe the housing fucking market will be more reasonable, but
yeah, it is insane right now. There is like nowhere to live.
No, it's not.
How they're getting by, I couldn't even tell you. It's insane.
And like for the price that we could get, like a terrible basement apartment here, not even in New York City, an hour and a half out of New York City, for like a third of that, we can get a nice 2-bedroom with sunlight. like 10, 15 minutes outside of like the best place to do comedy. So it's like, yeah, for me on the comedy front, I can do spots and mics every night and not feel like I'm wasting like 40 minutes round each way in gas and just, you know.
No, I hear you, because where we are out here on the island is a lot of travel to get to the city and shit like that.
Yeah.
Although I feel like it's for where I'm at here in Selden, like the middle of the island, it's not so bad because, going back and forth to like, Nassau County, Queens, and then also into the Hamptons and stuff like that, it kind of feels all right. But I mean, if you're in Austin, that's all there is, so you don't have to go anywhere but like right to the neighborhood you're already in,
Yeah.
Like it's not as spread out. Like here it's a lot more spread out. I feel like there it's like condensed to like one neighborhood, right? That's where all the comedy clubs are, like.
Yeah, there's like the downtown in the city, but I don't know, I just feel like the culture of comedy, there's just a lot everywhere. Like when I visited, I think the farthest out of town I went to perform was like 20 minutes.
Oh wow, okay.
That's the thing I've noticed traveling to like any other city that's like smaller than New York or LA is everything's 20 minutes away, minimum or maximum. That's maximum, not minimum.
Yeah.
Like it's just things are just accessible. And then a weird thing that I've been picking up on lately is just like the urban planning here sucks, which is like a weird hot podcast topic, but like the roads suck.
We're gonna get a reel out of this one.
Yeah.
But the roads, like, urban planning, you mean just on highway travel, or are you talking about, like, trains and stuff like that, too? Because we don't have
road travel.
Yeah, we don't have any sort of, even like the busing and shit out here is ridiculous.
Yeah, the fact that we don't have a north-south train for the Long Island Railroad at any stage of it, it's bullshit. They do it on purpose.
It is really a weird, like, sprawl of a place, like.
Yeah.
We used to have in every major town and city on Long Island, they had plans for, and in some places they actually had trolley cars. So it actually would go across the island,
Dude, I'm from more or less Northport. and they
Right.
still have the tracks in the pavement downtown Northport. And as a train kid,
Oh,
you know how much that fucking broke my heart? I didn't get to see a train.
So we've got.
Fuck.
We were on the
I'm actually
train
mad.
again. Circled back to trains. So you're
Yeah.
see, that's what happens with the train. All right. So
So Thomas the Tank Engine did a number on me as a kid.
he was like running.
We can't say what on the air. We can cut it out. But
play like soft piano music and you'll cry about it later. You mean?
oh yeah, no, it was honestly I got a whole manifesto on time. It was just the best kid show.
I would agree. It is one of the weirdest kids shows.
Oh.
In a kind of a cool way, because I mean,
Yeah.
Mr. Conductor on Shining Time Station,
George
was played
Carlin,
by
you mean?
George Carlin,
You know who played him first?
Alec Baldwin,
Who was
and
before
Ringo
that?
Starr.
Ringo Starr, man.
Who was writing that? There was just some guy smoking weed, be like, yeah, Ringo, bring Ringo in. Like, why? Who's next? I want to know who's next. It's not on the air anymore, right?
No, they stopped doing the Mr. Conductor character because, oh boy, you want a lore drop. Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. So there was no Mr. Conductor in the original show, aired in the United Kingdom.
Okay.
And the episode length was too short for a TV slot in the United States. So they had to pad it with extra like bullshit to make it work on American television, and that was the live action parts with the tiny little imp man, Mr. Conductor. He was like this big, and he would walk around and be like, and it made no sense for like the stories of the show. It had nothing to do with that live action human stuff.
Yeah, he was just a like introductory kind of, and there was like kids too, like they were running around, like
Yeah, because the whole guise of the show was that he was telling them stories about the island of Sodor and the trains they got there. And then even the first movie fucked it up. It was like, the magic... There's no magic. They're just trains. That's part of what made it cool. They had, like, guys driving them that, like, they couldn't control themselves because they're fucking machines.
it is kind of a weird concept that there's a guy inside of something that's already alive.
Oh, yeah.
And the train is alive, and the guy is alive, and everyone's alive, and...
This was one of the first stand-up bits I tried to write, and I could not make it work or funny. But it was me explaining this stuff about Thomas the Tank Engine, and then just being like, that is the weirdest type of slavery.
Train.
Very odd.
Oh, train slavery. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a different time.
But no, one of my favorite episodes as a kid and as an adult was when basically some kids sneak into Thomas's shed and make him go without a driver, and he just crashes right into some dude's house when they're having breakfast.
And nobody was upset about it?
Oh, the family was very upset.
Like, oh, Thomas, why are you in my home? Like,
can you put in a clip of that episode? Because that's exactly what the lady sounds like. Like, you have ruined our breakfast. Because it's pretty much George Carlin, because they do all the voices. George did all the voices.
Thomas, I've spilled porridge all over my pussy. Like,
Thomas, you cotton-headed ninny muggin. No, once they did a change.
She got burned her clit off. It was
all five of them.
Yeah, all five. Yeah, she was 5. It's a callback. If we edit it right, that's a good callback.
That's a great callback. I don't think we were rolling. Maybe we were.
Maybe
we
we
were
were.
rolling. All right. Now and that's the thing. When I was the reason I was like, I'm gonna stop watching this is well, partially that I grew up, but then my nephew, 7 years younger than me, got into Thomas, and I was like, wait a minute, this is just Bob the Builder. They're driving themselves. They don't have like a crew running them. There's like, it's just like, oh, we're fictional trains hanging out, and then just like, oh, you ruined it.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. It's like Cars.
Yeah, dude, I don't like Cars. Is really when Pixar jumped the shark. Like, I liked the movie Cars. I was still a kid when Cars came out, but like, that's when Pixar went from every movie just being the tits. And then Cars 1 was like, it was a little sus.
Cars.
Potholes in the road and in that goddamn script.
That was one I've not really watched too much of.
Yeah.
I liked Wall-E.
Wall-E's fantastic. Wall-E's a great movie.
I liked...
Grew up on Toy Story 1 and 2.
I like The Brave Little Toaster.
You know,
Was that Pixar? I don't even know if
No,
that was Pixar.
I definitely saw that, but I don't... It's very, like, early childhood memory flashes of Brave Little Toaster.
Yeah. Just start naming random movies. I liked Oliver and Company. What?
That was Disney.
That was Disney. What was the one with Billy Joel and the voice of Billy Joel? What was
Oh, shit. It'll come to us.
All Dogs Go to Heaven. Right?
Yes, I think so.
All dogs go to heaven, right? All dogs.
Now,
even those dogs, though.
Oliver and Company.
Oliver and Company. It was something dogs going somewhere. No, see, when people hit me with the Thomas is a creepy, because it is kind of creepy. The faces didn't move originally and shit. JJ the jet plane. That was a creepy one. That was like Thomas, but they're somehow jet planes.
Oh, that was just a totally different thing, or was
totally
it the same?
separate? It was a ripoff.
Oh, it wasn't the same universe.
No. The Thomas people they were like, don't fucking mix that with your Coke with my Pepsi, man. This is like a, but that stuff was creepy. Look at
JJ the jet plane.
Pull up a slide of that guy right here over my hand, because that was a creepy looking plane.
I feel like in my brain, like he's got like those aviator sunglasses on, and he's a plane, but he's somehow wearing sunglasses. Like I feel like that would like.
I vaguely remember one of the planes having aviators, because that would have been what a missed opportunity.
What was the one with General MacArthur? Wasn't there like was that Cars?
I don't know.
Wasn't there one where there's
Cars
like
had Larry the Cable Guy play the tow truck.
Oh yeah.
And that was great. People hate on Larry. His name is Daniel. People hate on Larry.
Yeah.
But I love Larry. I grew up. He was like one of the first comedians I was ever like, this is my favorite one.
So you watched that comedy tour, and that was the one.
No, not even.
Out of the whatchamacallit, the blue collar.
Out of those four guys, he was the only one that was even on my radar.
Wow.
Actually, I take that back, because I was a kid. And he's the most, like, not to say this as a pejorative thing, but I think his was the most kid friendly.
No, it's true. It's true, because it's definitely like kids wouldn't understand Ron White. You know?
No.
They'd be like, I don't know about
only like the coolest kid
doing scotch and cocaine. Doing scotch.
I like that.
I like I said.
You like doing a sketch?
You do that scotch, hey, see? Now back to Italian comedy again. It's the Italian Comedy Hour here on Long Island.
You ever like put your finger in the sauce and your mother beat you with the wooden spoon?
It's all.
God damn it!
It's enough already.
Because like,
with that.
Yeah. I kind of wish that was like the flavor Italian parents I got. I just got the mental illness flavor.
The mental illness flavor?
Yeah.
Oh, so what? Well, what's running down your family tree? What do you got?
Dude, I don't know.
Any good ones in there? Like
no.
No?
I mean, like, it's not like a mental illness. I guess it gets there when you get older, but like my mom's side of the family, everybody's got MS. That's why I do all the MS jokes.
Wait, but MS isn't mental.
No, it's not, but it does affect you in the later stages. Cause it's all about like your brain connecting and nerves and synapses.
But that's still a physical mental kind of like your brain's not like you.
It's all connected, baby, just like that song.
But they don't like say crazy shit.
I'd have to like look it up.
Remembering things like
Alzheimer's, you get like fuzzy and shit like that.
My grandfather had like bipolar, manic depression, schizophrenia, shit like that. So he would just say things that you were like, But he would say it so like we'd be like fixing something, working on some like plumbing in the house, and he'd be like, don't worry, everything's gonna be all right. I'm like, it's cool. Like, what do you mean it's gonna be all right? Like, I talked to Marlena, and she said it's gonna be all right. And I'm like, who's Marlena? I'm like, she's an alien. She lives up in outer space. Comes down and says hi. By the way, I work for Frank Sinatra, and I'm an Indian chief. And I'd be like, damn it, Grandpa.
Grandpa.
And he'd always would screw me up with that mental shit, because he would like question me, like, you believe me, right? And I'd be like, now is he saying crazy shit and asking me to see if I'm gonna back him, or is he? And I would just be like, well, if you say it's true.
No, see, I got a weird thing with grandparents. My parents they had me basically in their 40s.
Okay.
So my grandparents, both my grandpas were dead by the time I came around, and both my grandmas were still around. And like one of them was cool, and the other one was like really squirrely,
Like squirrely. Like, explain that.
Just like kind of like what you're saying, like just saying out of pocket shit,
wild shit. You're like
not really there. And now of all like she never like said anything bad to me. But my tragic backstory is my older brother died when I was 7.
Oh, jeez.
Now the worst thing that Grandma Julie ever did was after he died, she would just be like, "Oh, hello, Rob," And I'd be like, you got the wrong guy by like 27 years, lady.
Oh, wow. So, yeah.
That's why I never look at you in the eye, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't do it. Yeah, but I can get that. That's a tough. Yeah, so he would.
How old are you?
Definitely 43. Yeah.
That is actually how old he would have been.
Oh,
Funnily
Jesus.
enough, yeah, no, my Rob and Mike, my two older brothers, are like 27 and 20-something years older than me.
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah. So you were the later on in life child.
Oh, dude, like I'm okay with being here on this rock.
Right. I'm glad.
But like, thank you.
Why wouldn't you be?
No,
like,
sure.
Weird.
It's depression.
You know,
but what I'm getting at is like, for my mom's sake, to not have to pop another human out at 44, like we could re-roll this one, and two sons is enough.
Yeah. That was just a. And then they'd be like, "Oh, you were our, what do they used to call those babies? My sister Amanda's one of those babies that's like."
There's a word for it. I don't know.
Yeah, happy miracle or something. They would always say one of those, like, "You're our angel baby," and I'd be like, "Hey, you guys had a boy and you had a girl and everything was cool, and then a couple of years later you had Amanda because you needed that," and then they just be like, "Shut the fuck up." You're giving. I'm like, ah.
Well, it took me a while, but I think I got the truth out of my folks. And it was literally that my dad was bitching about the type of contraceptive they were using, and they switched to a different one. Wasn't as good. I was a tough-ass little sperm, dude.
Yeah, you just like...
None of that transferred over into being a human. It was
doing the orange now.
Put all my...
Outside of the thing.
I put all my skill points into just getting to the egg. Nothing, just after that, gave no skill points left.
Skill.
So it's a video game reference, Rob.
I thought it was like Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know.
Same thing. Dungeons and Dragons is just slow video games that require more creativity.
Oh yeah, that was before we had the computer, so you had to use paper and pens.
Exactly. No, that's actually the reason. Monsters. I'm such a... People assume that I play Dungeons and Dragons regularly after they talk to me for 5 minutes. And my problem with Dungeons and Dragons is unless you have the right group... Well, that's just like a vibe thing. You need to have the right group for D&D. But it's also just like slow. And if you're not on the same page as the people, we're like, we got to keep the pace up. It just becomes a good hang, which is not the end of the world. But like, if you are used to video games and things just happen, and it just drags.
Yeah, no.
But same principles. Like, you have stats, and you got to give them to your character. And if you put the points in the wrong things, sometimes you got to just restart the game.
That's what happens if you put the points in the wrong things.
Yep.
Then the girl gets mad. And that's how it ends.
That's a metaphor for life.
That's a mess. She don't like that. That's, what do I know? Metaphor for life.
You play Minecraft, Rob White?
I don't know. I don't play any, like, the last video game I played, I have my nephew down right now. And he's, like, watching, like, all these, like, YouTube videos, like, where they're playing video games and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they watch, and like gamers, like, actually watching gamers. And I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck's going on. The last thing I remember playing was, like, Grand Theft Auto. I think it was, like, the third version of it, too. So it was just... And I didn't do any of the missions. All I would do is, like, drink beer and try to, like, kill as many hookers as I possibly could before the cops got me, Yeah.
Like,
that was the only thing I would be like, all right, how many did you get? Like, I killed, like, 20 before I got, like, 4 warrants. Like, yay, and... That's the games that I would play.
Dude, GTA, that's the dad game that you give them, because like, so I had a very short-lived web series that I made with my dad. This is perfect. You got to put the thumbnail right up here because I'm pointing to it. It was called Old Man Plays. My dad is very borderline like neutral to video games, like anti-video game, at least when I was a kid, right? So I put him in front of a green screen.
It's cool though. You got him to play it.
Oh yeah, I would just force him to play video games, and it came together great.
Yeah, how did that not get more hits? Like,
so it was partially because we couldn't make the episodes. His eyesight was getting bad, so it was getting to the point where like I was like, Dad, are you just like not following the directions? He's like, I have no idea what is going on the screen.
It's almost better, actually.
But the unreleased episode, what would have been episode 3, was him playing Grand Theft Auto 5. And all he wanted to do was do what he does in real life, which is drive a box truck and kill hookers. That's all he wanted to do. And I was like, Dad, if you drive the box truck to this specific building, they'll at least give you like money. And he's like, no, I'm just cruising. Aimlessly cruising around in this box truck until I find a hooker to kill.
And then, wow, that's your dad was the Gilgo Beach Killer.
He honestly, there's a chance that it's my dad. Like, and listen, I just on vibe alone, like I this isn't like where I reveal publicly my dad fucks whores all the time. Like, I don't know that. I've never seen that. I don't think that's the case.
Are they together still?
They shouldn't be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they.
That's like weird. It's like your mom's watching, like, ah.
No, dude, I that was actually like a bone to pick I had with kids growing up whose parents were divorced, and they made it sound like it was like the worst thing in the world. I'm like, I'm sure that's not great. I'm sure everybody's experience is different, but like, have a dead brother with two parents that should be split up and that are sticking together, you know, for the cause. And it's like, this could be so much better. You know, dad gets a convertible, mom dates a pharmacist. Like, we could have been good.
Why have a pharmacist? It makes sense, you know.
They bring in money and they're you know they're hanging out locally. I don't know. As you know, I got divorced after 4 months of marriage.
It was only, oh really? I did not know.
Well, so, and then, you know, I'll split hairs with you. So we split up at 4 months and the paperwork, but we effectively separated at 4 months, and it was the right thing to do. It wasn't fucking meant to be. We got engaged early, and that was like an excuse to not split up because we were engaged, and you know, like a sunken cost fallacy bullshit, and the amount of like it sucked because I lost the life I was building towards. But in terms of like my general happiness, it was a good move. I'm sure she's happier. You know, that's why all that like joking around about being bitter, but like I'm not. Like whatever.
No, I get it.
Live your life.
I get it. I was engaged to a girl for 5 years, and it was just like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. At the end of the day, like you just gotta make the call.
It was like, you don't want to keep doing this. I don't think we should keep doing this, and let's just not. And then we just didn't. And then we were like, oh my God, it's so much better. Yeah. And now we are both, well, I mean, I'm moved on. I don't know what she's doing. She could be anywhere.
She has a Rob White shrine, like Helga and Hey Arnold in her closet.
Oh my God. That's creepy.
It's just a bunch of flash.
Just burning fucking, burning like an effigy of me right now.
There we go. Well, that's the thing. If you get like pinpricked by a voodoo doll, or she makes your arm go like this, all of a sudden I got like a deep ass wound. You know
just like that's how they do it in every television show, right?
Yeah, voodoo dolls.
Your arm moves like you don't know what happened.
But then my favorite part about me getting divorced is I had some really like bad divorce material. It just was not very funny. But my current girlfriend thought it was hilarious. She heard the divorce jokes, asked me out. She's like, that's the only reason I asked you out. I knew you were single. You kept talking about this fucking divorce on stage like an idiot.
Wow, that's...
Worked out, though. She's great.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah.
Wait, where was that show at? What was the...
I am eternally grateful to the establishment of Crabtrees for that one.
Crabtrees?
Yeah, in Huntington.
Yeah, okay.
Johnny Mac was out of his normal, you know, hosting and running that spot, and he offered me to be like the guest guy to run it. It's really Johnny Mac. I have thanked him. I've been like, man, if you didn't ask me to do this, I'd be way less happy.
That's kind of
Johnny Mac, I'll suck your dick.
Wow, so then you're not going to get married to this one then, I guess, if you're going to suck his dick.
She's cool with it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
He made the time and place happen, you know what I'm saying?
That's true. I guess she has to deal with that. You know.
But the funny thing was, I engaged to my ex-wife after a year of dating, like an idiot. And then I recently just got to a year of dating my current girlfriend. And the amount of people that came out of the woodwork just to be like, did you marry in this fucking one too? And I'm like, no, I learned my lesson, internet. I really did. It's just not enough time to know. I mean, and there are people that do it in shorter times. I'm not shitting on them. For me, I needed more time to...
Yeah, it's just paperwork and government, you know? It's like kind of...
But you know what it is, though? It's the idea of, like, committing to the... Like, we're going to do a life together. Like, we are going to, like, do... Like, I think there's a better way to make that metaphorical commitment. Mm-hmm. You know? Absolutely.
Get the government involved. A little bit of paperwork. A little bit of money. Pay some taxes. Yeah. It's supposed to make it easier. I thought like once you get married, you were supposed to get like discounts or some shit. Like I did. I really thought like once you got married, like your taxes would be better. Like I don't know, DXL would give me a coupon or some shit. Like,
no, it's literally just bartenders, and you bitch about your wife enough, and they're like, all right, next one I'll buy that one back. Like,
rounds on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I never do that. I always think that's like, I don't know. I see a lot of that in comedy, and quite honestly, I find it to be like annoying.
Well, from the comedy standpoint, it's the most outdated, hacky bullshit to bitch about your significant other. Unless you actually have an earnest thing that's like also funny, but like having a whole act being like, oh, fuck my wife, it's like, okay, 50s comedy, I guess.
Yeah, and it's just like to the moon, Alice. Yeah. I was like, okay, all right, we get it.
It's just, I don't know why I don't get it.
You know, unless Ralph Cramden really punched Alice straight in the face as hard as he could one day.
That's funny because you don't expect it.
She's just laying there on the floor like, oh, like,
I didn't think he would do it.
That's it. It's over.
No, but I agree from the non-comedy standpoint. If you're spending all your time away from your significant other complaining about your, like, just break up, leave, be fucking happy. I don't know.
Yeah, it just seems like, I don't know, a lot of that kind of stuff is just lame, where it's like, dude, I gotta get out of the house, my old lady's fucking on the rag again, bro. And I'm like, ew, you fucking jerk off. Like, why would you say that? Why would you say, I have to go to the man cave? Like, oh, you do? You know what? That's just douchey. Go be there by yourself.
Yeah, like, God forbid you find somebody that, like, has enough overlapping interests that you don't need a dedicated away from them space. I don't know. I don't get it.
You know, it's true. It's like, hey, I made this one right here. I love her so much, but I need a whole another room in the house so I can hide from her. Like, that's weird. That's strange. It's
you know what I'm watching right now that is like perfect for this is my first watch through of Mad Men.
Oh yeah. That was a good show.
It's good, and it's funny because it's my only beefs with Mad Men are that they actually made that show for broadcast television, whereas so many shows now have like streaming in mind.
Right.
And it's just like so many like fades to black, and it just goes right back to the show.
Oh yeah.
It's very. But I just watched this episode that it has to be like a notable episode where they're just like Don Draper and his family are like having a picnic. And then they're done with the picnic, and they just like leave all their trash there. He throws his beer can deeper into the park, and then they just drive away with all their. And I'm just like, God damn, different times.
I don't think it was ever
different times
that way.
Totally was your generation, and all the older generations. You fucked us.
Just throw it all like that, like I don't know.
There are people that do that today, dude. I live in like the most generic, like lower middle class suburbia in Long Island, and the amount of trash that is just on like our parts of our lawn because it happens to be like on a corner and people just throw their shit out. It's just like
you do get a lot of that, but also like I think a lot of the garbage that winds up existing is because our garbage men are fucking animals. Our garbage men and the people too that put the garbage out are just both the most savage idiots on earth. Like
someone's not getting this shit picked up.
No, use a garbage bag. First of all, use a garbage bag. Yeah. Don't just throw it in the pail. Like, And if you're the garbage man, make sure you get 99% of the garbage from the pail into the truck.
Yeah, you drop a Q-tip, it's okay.
I'll just literally go out sometimes and I'll just see things blowing around, and I'm just like, what are you doing? What do you do? I mean, like, listen, I know your life didn't turn out exactly like you thought it was going to be. You're riding around on the back of a garbage truck with a fucking stuffed Garfield tied to the radiator out front. I get it. I get your life isn't that great. You're sweating your balls off in the summer and freezing them in the winter. But still, like, get the shit from the pail into the truck. That's why we pay you all these ducats, you know?
Yeah, like minimum. Like, give them basketball jerseys. Maybe they'll try to make that shot more.
They should do something to make it better. I don't know. And then everyone's like, yo, the immigrants are stealing our jobs. Well, good. I hope they do a better job than we've been doing. I'm doing a shit show job.
Oh, dude, I was great at rolling burritos. That's my job.
Great at rolling burritos.
That was one of my. It was like one of my first jobs. Was I worked at Fat Artie's Burrito Shack.
Oh, that That sounds so familiar.
It was down from Huntington. The shop used to work in Huntington.
Yeah.
Right by the Paramount.
I used to go
The
there
pizza place
sometimes. When did you work there up until?
Like the summer of 2013 only. I found out, Artie, I love you. You were skimping me on pay, dog. Like, he's gonna see. You might see this. Artie is like a famous character. He's a friend of. I shouldn't use his real name. Fuck.
Well, that's
he's
the
a
name
Terry
of the place.
McNeely friend.
He's a friend of Terry's?
Yes, he only came to a show of mine.
He's a terrible individual, I'm sure, because Terry's an awful human being. And I love him, but you know how you are, Terry.
Love Terry. But yeah, no, he was paying me. I was getting paid off the books, and I did the math one day, and I'm like, Artie, was this on purpose? And then he's like, no. And then he did it to me the following week, and I was like, I gotta find another job.
Fat Artie. 2013. Was I working in Timmy's shop then? Diana. That's what I asked.
We're pulling up the backlogs.
Was I working in Timmy's in 2013? No. 2017.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like.
It might have still been that because
it's still Fat Artie's, but you weren't.
No,
there.
I wasn't there. And you know what? I'm actually lying. It was called Cilantro. The Huntington location was called Fat Artie's. The Northport location was called Cilantro, which sucked for me. I got the cilantro gene.
Cilantro.
You know what I'm talking about?
Cilantro just sounds like cilantro gene.
Yeah, it's there's like 20% of the population that tastes like soap.
Oh yeah, where you can't taste it. It's funky.
It doesn't taste like, because what people who actually like cilantro says it's kind of like scallions or like oniony,
it's a
but
weird.
different. But to me, it most of the time, it really does taste like soap. And the amount of shit Indians and Mexicans give me when I go into their delightful eating establishment and I go, please just no cilantro. And they're like, hey, puppy, or pussy. And I'm like, it's genetic. I was born this way, dog. Like, come on.
Cilantro sounds like the gayest name, though. Be like,
Yeah.
hi guys, my name's Cilantro, and I'll be your yoga instructor.
Yeah, that sounds like one of Gwyneth Paltrow's kids for sure.
Oh, Cilantro.
Yeah.
That is a good,
Absolutely.
that is a good hippie celebrity name.
It is. I was just talking to my girlfriend about this, how Kai is a very common gay, trans, LGBTQ2. I didn't even mean to fuck it up. I don't know.
LBR2D2,
There we go.
C3PO.
But yeah, KAI. So if you meet a Kai, don't assume nothing. Don't.
Kai. Kai. George Takei. Remember him? He was
Oh
gay.
my.
It's George Takei, I think, right?
Yeah.
Everybody said it wrong. I don't know what's going on. We're just mumble talking.
We are. This is practically a rap album.
We're
Yeah, I can't make him laugh. It hurts more when he laughs.
No one can be funny. We're almost done, actually. I'm just hitting up some spots in here and
Very cool.
giving it a little bit of this and that.
No, I definitely wanted the Chinese character that said deep anal.
Deep anal.
Yeah.
Not just regular anal, but deep anal.
Well, that's the thing. It's a poetic translation. It doesn't actually mean deep anal. It means down in the deepest of caves. But that's what they all say when they mean deep anal.
Well, that's what they, of course, because that's what
Now, here's a tattoo-related question I have for you.
Oh, yeah.
If down the line, this is totally a question for before getting inked up, ladies and gentlemen.
Not after, but you doing it after.
If I end up not liking the skin tone and I want it filled in with white or yellow, is that possible?
Oh, yeah. You can always,
I've had people tell me.
You can't subtract.
No, but that's the thing. I've also heard folks say that you don't want to... it would look better to have those initially and not add it later.
No. I mean, chances are if you go back and add yellow or something to it,
a light
you definitely
color
want
too,
to
right?
put you want to hit up the orange again.
Okay.
Because it's just one of those colors that's going to definitely, it burns in the sun and you lose color and stuff then.
Interesting.
If as time goes on, so you want it to kind of look
I'll keep that in mind.
like it was all done at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with any Yu-Gi-Oh fans out there. My first
I was
real
wondering what was
color
going
tattoo.
on with the Yu-Gi-Oh fans.
You were wondering?
Yeah, I was wondering because I was,
Us and our dual discs.
Oh yeah, I was reading, my Yu-Gi-Oh daily newspaper, and I didn't know what was going on with those Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, you should. Well, no, I that was one of my first big piece tattoos is the card Scapegoat. nobody. I know nobody in this room knows that. But there's a card called Scapegoat. It's a bunch of little colorful goats.
Colorful goats.
And I wasn't sure if I wanted it line art or colored in, and the guy was like, "You pick now. You don't want to pick."
Oh
later.
yeah, well you can't, you know.
But that color ink, it's like constantly like little kind of pimply and just it's just like my skin didn't react
right
to
have like
it.
an allergic reaction to it?
But it's like mild and it's like not. It's not like you can't tell looking at it. It's a bunch of colors. We got these guys going on.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's the itchiest fucking thing, and it's always
just in that one brown area.
no down here too. That's why that's a little
weird.
scabby.
You know what? I have an Indian head on the top of my arm from back in the day, and every once in a while, like in the back, like the red will just itch. For no reason.
And that's what people
there
told
is
me.
something to it. So you're not
pigments. Yeah.
You're not going insane. I don't know entirely why it is like that.
Yeah.
I mean, 30 years of doing this, you think I would know like a little bit about my profession? I don't know shit about what's going on in this place. I have no idea.
Yeah, like a guy that scans outer space, and you're like, we don't fucking know. It's just down the end.
It's just my chosen occupation since I'm a child. But hey, you know, whatever it is.
Yeah, I feel like this is a question you probably get a lot. Do you remember distinctly like the first tat?
Oh yeah. Well, it was my dad. It was literally in that photo. I don't know if you could see that.
What?
Here? That's me tattooing in.
That's the first one?
1993.
Very cool.
Yeah. I was a little kid. I was a little
nice.
1993, and then just kind of been around this ever since then. Yeah.
You know something funny?
Damn.
I don't think anybody that knows me well enough would watch this and be like, "You got the ages of your siblings totally wrong." My brothers are like older than you. They're in their 50s. Man. It's weird.
So wait, how old did you? Wait,
what?
You got the ages of your siblings wrong.
I did. I was like, you're like, I'm 44. I'm like, that's the same age. I'm like, I did the math in my head. Not even close.
No.
They're older.
Oh, you just mathed it out right now and you're just like.
Yeah, I was just being an agreeable asshole.
Yeah, like, yeah. And then you only realize now that your mathematics was like.
Yeah, totally.
Completely. And you're just.
No, and what did it was looking at the picture of you in 93.
And you did 93.
And that made no sense.
At 13.
Because I was born in 94.
Yeah.
So you would have been like 22. You're not 22 in that picture. Yeah.
God damn.
Numbers are hard. This is why we do comedy.
I'd be dead now, wouldn't I? Yeah, I'm definitely not an accountant. That's for certain. I'd fail at that 100%. Well, ladies and gentlemen, so ends another episode of Who the F is Rob White?
Terrible podcast name.
It's terrible. It's stupid. I want to say Who the Fuck is Rob White, but you can't say that at the beginning.
That doesn't make it better.
Yeah, they get a little upset, you know. So you sneak it in there at the end.
Yeah.
Mr. LaCarrubba.
Mr. White.
Do you have any last comments or any information? Tell people where we could get to your comedy, your website, your Facebook, whatever you got.
Brandon.LaCa is the Instagram. You can get it's not a link tree, but I call it a link tree. Get to my website from there. I always got shows. Carib Caboodle is my production company. You could find that on Instagram as well. You're not going to be able to spell it based off me saying that. But always got flyers. I'll probably have a podcast again at some point. Look, I am a comedian. That's like the law.
Gonna be in Austin though.
Gonna be in Austin, and if you like book comedy, fucking look at my shit. Please book me. It's so hard to
Texas.
Yeah, but I want to come back and do shows because I'm making my what's that, artificial scarcity. I'm like, Long Island booking people, you gotta book me because I'll be in town only for a week. You know?
Yeah. You try to drive it up while you're here. This way it makes it more rare,
Yeah, I got nothing specific. Support comedy, more specifically support my comedy, but support all comedy. We're just trying to make people have a good time.
We're trying to have fun.
Yeah.
We're doing tattoos here. We're doing comedy.
Yep.
We're all over the place. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Folks, thank you again for watching the episode. Please like, share, subscribe, and if you have any stuff you want to talk about, just put it down in the comments, and we'll see you again real soon.
Goodbye, everybody.